So now we got this guy poly painted in. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of fiber mesh. So we've got our guy here. In order to determine where our fiber mesh is going to go, I'm going to temporarily turn off our poly paint. I'm going to mask everything. And then, because we can fiber mesh in layers. So as you can see on this guy, he's got very short, fine fur on his face, and then it goes to a little bit thicker on his neck, and then it goes just hog wild, especially on the tail back here. So we're probably going to do the fiber mesh in several passes. Maybe not today, but I'm just going to give you a quick overview today so we can go into Painter real quick and see if I can figure that out. But so what we can do is we can start with the head. So I'm going to mask lasso, just where it's very, I'm just going to blur that out a little bit. Control tap to blur your masks. Or you go to the masking menu and blur. And then we can go down here to our fiber mesh here, and we'll go, you can go to your Lightbox fibers if you have fiber mesh already set up, but I'm going to go ahead and just do a preview, and now his head is covered with fibers. So let's go to our modifiers here. I'm going to change our length way down. So we're just going to get kind of a fuzzy look, and then I can crank my max fibers up. And now you can have just kind of a fuzzy face. So that could be, you know, part one. And also what we want to do, oh, let's see if I remember how to do this. Base colorize, base color. Oh, so if you hover over anything in ZBrush, you get the name and the possible hotkey. And then if you hold down Control, you can get more information on that. T-colorize sliders colors the tip of the fibers using color selected colors. Base fibers using color selected in the corresponding patch. So color profile, base, color variations, tip color variations. And let's also switch this to a, so we got the base and the tip color. But if I want to colorize using my poly paint, ooh, do I remember how to do that? I want to say, so back down here, and we got our previews here, so base colorize up to 1. And then tip color down to 0. And now those fiber meshes will inherit the underlying poly paint. So that's a good start. Let's go ahead and say, you're looking fine. So let's go ahead and accept that fiber mesh. Sure. And now what we need to do is go back to our animator here. We've already got the head masked out. So if I control tap to invert that, now you've got the body masked out. And we can go ahead and do, and basically what you're going to do is break down, like I would say, these shorter hairs through here in the neck is what I would do next, and then maybe the longer hairs on the body, and then maybe the super long hairs on the tail. So again, I'm not going to do all of these, but we'll go ahead and go, okay, now here I want this to kind of be our medium. So let's go ahead and do, and we can blur that mask a little bit, and then go down here to preview, and now we want to crank up our max, our length at least here, and then our max fibers, we'll crank it down a little bit. And is that about right? That's still like a little bit long. Okay, I think that'll work. We'll go ahead and accept these. And back to our giant animator. Again, invert that mask. Then the rest of this, we've already done the head. We can unmask that. These are going to be really long, and then the tail will save for very last, and actually probably a little bit here too. So now we got this masked. We can go down here to preview and crank our max fibers up and our length. And now we'll groom these as needed once I get this all figured out. And we can also make them longer and shorter as we go through, but we'll say that's about right. In fact, if we go through here and we go, oh, you know what? Turns out I forgot. Let's go ahead and turn off our preview here. And I'm going to turn off my colorize. And we can go through here. We can go, you know what? I forgot that I don't want the bottom of his feet. Let's go to mask pin here, Control Alt. So this little pad on his feet here, I don't want. And then the little bottoms of his feet as well. Those are just going to be skin. And now we can just turn fiber mesh back on. There we go. And of course we want to have our poly paint on. And of course we want to have our base color up to 1. I like that. We'll hit accept. And now, I guess since we're so close anyways, we'll control tap to invert that mask. And then we've already masked the stuff out. So this is going to be the really long hair. So we'll go ahead and turn our Polypaint back on. Fiber mesh. Crank that length up really high. That's going to be our hair. And oops, we need to also unmask here. Okay, so we got this fiber mesh here. Let's crank our max fibers down. And again, we can make these ones back here shorter just through grooming and stuff. But let's say, okay, we'll accept that. Now when we go to solo mode, we've got this guy kind of hanging out. If we turn off our body, you can see this is just fur sitting there. So the head here may look like there's geometry under here, but there is no geometry under here. You can see just a floating eyeball, and this is just kind of fur sitting there. So if we want to, let's go ahead and just do a quick save. Turn on perspective. And if you want to see this fur rendered a little bit better, we can go to BPR. How do you create a color vertex map for an asset in ZBrush? Okay, so we can do that with this guy as well. Now there's a lot of fibers in here, but you can see there's the fiber mesh result we're getting. Looks pretty cool. Getting these fiber meshes out of ZBrush, you can export them as curves, or you can just use it as previs within ZBrush here. And I forgot to turn the body back on, so this is literally just rendering the fur here. But you can go through here and you can groom this stuff. So you can go to like BG. There's groom brushes in here. Groom. It's been a while since I've used this stuff. Groom hair short, groom hair toss. These are fun. These are just kind of fun to play with here. So if we do like hair toss, and you want to make sure you alt tap the one you want to work on, and then you can just go through here, and you can groom this stuff down and out. And you can even use your move brush. Now when you start using, like say, your move brush, and you start pulling, you're going to see it's going to mask the root automatically. That's a function of your brush setting. So under brush, auto masking, you're going to see auto mask fiber mesh. That masks the roots of your fiber mesh. If you hold down shift, you can kind of smooth those back a little bit. And then you can use your groom brushes here to do whatever you need to do. And also you can even use snake hook if you want to for these things. I'll make sure you have RGB turned off so you don't get rid of the colorize there. But yeah, so that's fibers.